Hi, I'm Dr. Leon Scott with Vanderbilt Orthopedics, and I'm here working on our pilot video number 3 of 4. This is our series of videos focused on using nutrition as a way to address hip and knee osteoarthritis. Specifically, we know that if we have a 10 to 20% weight loss, that we often see a predictable and reproducible improvement in pain and function for individuals with knee and hip osteoarthritis. So in the other videos, I am talking about using calorie restriction by changing the containers that we hold our food in. And I'll make sure there's a link to that video that pops up above me. We also focus on calorie restriction by using water. That's in the 4th video, the next one I'll be making. We even look at timing of when we eat. So when we eat, especially if we introduce a fasting period, can encourage certain weight changes in our bodies. Today's video, though, is focusing on the type of calories we take in. So we are going to be looking at eating essentially vegetables and meats and removing the simple carbohydrates from our diet. So I am actually in the kitchen. I'm not wearing scrubs in this video because I'm actually cooking dinner. This is something that I do. I do have a little osteoarthritis from an old rugby injury, but this is just effectively the way that I choose to eat over the past 5-10 years or so, and I wanted to share that with y'all because this is a strategy you can use to try and to encourage weight loss. Now, I'm going to jump into the food, but remember there are some key components to implementing these strategies. We are creating these videos with 4 strategies, but the principles that run throughout any of these strategies is that so the first is you only pick one strategy. You may say, hey, all 4 of these strategies sound great. I'm going to do all 4. Do not do that. Pick one lever and pull that lever and use step 2 or principle number 2 to help support that. And that's using a calendar. So you are going to get a calendar and a red pen. Every day that you do this single strategy, this or any one of the 4 single strategies, you'll mark that day in your calendar with a red X. If you have 25 red X's, you will be on your way to reducing weight, to losing weight in a way that can help overweight individuals with knee and hip osteoarthritis improve their hip and knee pain. Principle number 3, you set a goal. So I set it, I already said it, the 10 to 20% weight loss over a 2 to 6 month period of time. That's where we see the most predictable results. And then the 4th component is you do not weigh yourself except once a month. So for patients who see me in the office for this, they only weigh themselves in the office when they see me once a month so that we can track if the lever we're pulling is still working, or if the lever we're pulling is not being pulled all the way. We talk about it openly and honestly. Weighing yourself every single day is going to be counterproductive. If you try and track the what I call a lag measure, something that you really don't have control over, then you're going to find yourself disappointed when it doesn't change because you're looking at the scale. What you can control is the behavior, and we know that the body will take that behavior and turn it into the weight loss that we're looking for. All right, so those are the 4 principles that go with these strategies. Now let's get into the actual strategy. So we are changing the food composition. We are trying to eat primarily vegetables, and if you want, meat as well. So for example, you may, like I did as a kid, hate eating vegetables or hated eating vegetables. But I think if you try some of the things we're going to talk about, you'll find that they are actually quite delicious. We just may not have been cooking them right as kids. So I got the broccoli here. We got some Brussels sprouts that are already cut up. That is a really horrible glare. I apologize for that. We got some carrots over here, some sweet potatoes. I haven't cut those up yet, and I'm actually going to be putting these into the oven. I cook them for 40 minutes at 400 degrees, and that gives me that perfect caramelization. You can add oil. That's what I'm going to be doing, adding some olive oil. You can add pepper, garlic powder. Those are my go-to 3. Every now and again, I'll add a little salt. I often do that for radishes, a little extra flavor. As a matter of fact, let's talk about that. Every vegetable I have found cooks perfectly 40 minutes in the oven at 400 degrees, except asparagus. You probably want to limit that to 15-20 minutes, and radishes probably good at 25 minutes. But everything else, you cut those potatoes, the squash, the carrots, the broccoli comes out with this perfect char on top. It's awesome. So that's what I'd recommend. So we take the olive oil, take the pepper, you take the garlic powder, and we toss it. Toss it, toss it, toss it. We lose one, and that's okay. We set that oven, and I'm gonna feel like one of the Food Network stars in just a moment here, because through the magic of television, I'm gonna have all these things roasted, and then we're gonna try them. A few tips about meat. So I, for example, I will buy a whole salmon and cut it. I usually keep it with the skin. Don't try and get too fancy. Gordon Ramsay gave me an awesome, he didn't give it to me. There's a recipe from Gordon Ramsay that I thought was fantastic, where you just thaw out salmon, salt. All you need is salt and olive oil. Throw that on the skillet and you let it cook skin side down. You cook that skin side down, you'll slowly start to see it cook through, and then you can just turn it for a quick little. I forgot to mention one of the most important things about this vegetable and meat approach, and that's going to be that we use the vegetable and meat approach with all of our meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So I cook enough, you're gonna see in the pan once it comes out, that I cook enough for meals for that day. So I eat it for dinner, and then I have 2 containers that I use for breakfast and lunch, and I actually eat this for breakfast. And that, my patients will often say, like, for breakfast, I haven't had vegetables for breakfast. Once they start doing it, they go, oh, that's right, I don't have to have an American style breakfast with bread all the time and pastries and cakes and candies. Like, you can eat great food that you cook for dinner as your breakfast as well. One, it's already made, so although the dinner side may take some time, your lunch and your breakfast and your lunch the next day are pretty easy, because they're already just packaged, ready to go. And that is, that's a key part to it. So if you want that red X that you ate vegetables and meat all day, for me, I find the easiest way to do that is cook enough at night so the next day you have that food ready for breakfast and lunch, and boom, red X's. That's how we do it. 25 red X's. You're going to be on your way to reaching that goal. Okay, now the magic of television. We got 35 more minutes. All right, so we just finished 40 minutes, and here are the final vegetables. Hopefully that's coming through nicely. You can see that nice char. Oh, that makes the broccoli taste so good. So that tastes great. Got the carrots, which get this awesome caramelized texture to them, get real nice and soft. Some of them get a little crispy on the ends, so it's almost like a sweet potato fry. It tastes real good. The Brussels sprouts, I'm not going to fib to you, they taste really good, but they're even better if you put a little pancetta with them, a little kind of Italian ham and bacon. But these are going to taste great too. So I'm going to put these on a plate right now, show that plate to you, and that will be kind of the finale of today's video. I'm going to skip the meat tonight, and I am instead going to slice some avocado and put that over top, and that'll be everything. I'll show that final picture, and hopefully this was helpful. Pull that lever, have a goal, record it with red X's, and don't weigh yourself except once a month, and you can do that with me in the office. All right, here it is. Enjoy.